Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, I don't know what's brought you here to this particular broadcast today. You may have gotten an email from myself or from somebody on the team to find out how you can leverage the power of the internet to make money from home. Okay, now what I'm going to share with you tonight is that these people that are currently on this panel right now are people that are on the path to basically become millionaires. They're on the path of millionaire mentoring. They're on the path to be able to make enough income that they can leave their full-time jobs and pursue their passion. Okay, now whatever your passion it is, it doesn't matter. Okay, what matters is this, is that you have enough money to be able to pay all of your bills. Okay, so if all your bills were paid for you, my question to you is this: what would you be doing with your time? I want you to really think about this tonight, because what prevents people from pursuing their true passion is that they have a mortgage, is that they have to pay for their kids to go to school, is that they have car payments, right? Is that they're in a situation in just regular daily activity where they don't have enough income in order to pay their basic bills, okay? So they can't pursue their passion, right? Now, some of you might have a passion for music. Some of you might have a passion for travel. Some of you might have a passion just to be able to spend time at home with your children, right? I know that there's a lot of people that I work with that might be single moms, or they maybe had two income streams at one time, and with the corporate downsizing, the cutbacks, the layoffs, the pink slips, a lot of families actually have had one income totally taken away from them, so now they only have one income left. And a lot of times what happens, that one income isn't enough for them to get those basic ends met. So here's what happens. Here's typically the cycle, the spiral that happens for people. The first thing that they cut off is the biggest chunk, right, which is their mortgage payment. So they miss a mortgage payment because they need that money just to buy groceries and just to get transportation for the kids to and from school. So they start off with cutting one mortgage payment, and then two mortgage payments, and then three mortgage payments, and then they get a note from the bank, right? The bank starts to move into foreclosure, right? They might have a total of maybe 7 months or so before the bank lays down the hammer, but after that, what happens next, right? They start to miss their car payment, right? Typically what happens is it starts off on the credit cards, just so you know. Credit cards get maxed, then it goes to the mortgage, then it goes to the car, and their whole world starts to completely implode. Now, my goal here is to be able to give you 100% total confidence. This isn't guesswork here, guys, okay? The strategies that I teach are proven, tried, tested formulas where I've been able to start a business with as little as $44.95, right? Put together an action strategy where I'm going to assemble what I call my board of directors, which is how I build every single company that I raise money for. I get my management team and my board of directors, and I got a core unit that I can leverage now to go raise capital, right? You've got to start to think of your business the exact same way. So let's say, as an example, that you were starting a business with just a blog, which is your central hub, right? And you started to tap into Millionaire Mentoring and then started to share your personal breakthrough with the world. Okay, you're going to share your personal breakthrough with the world on video, on Google Hangouts, and on your blog, which is going to allow people to start to see you as a leader. Okay, what I'm going to tell you about this particular business model is that it is a leadership business model, not a sales pitch business model. And this is why there's so much failure in the home-based business industry, even when you've got the most amazing products You could have the most amazing weight loss products. You could have the most amazing antioxidants. You could have the most amazing skincare, anti-aging, whatever, right? You could be marketing a product or a service, whatever it is that you're marketing. If you are thinking that you're going to implement the features and benefits business model, I'm telling you, it will be painful. All you will get is rejection. I don't care how great your products are. Here's what you're going to get. I'm not interested. I'm not interested, right? But I'm telling you, I sleep great. I feel great. You've got to try these products. I'm not interested. I'm not interested, right? That's what you get. Pushback, pushback, right? Until you understand that the model, the distinction of what we do is about leadership, and it's going to be to identify what are all the problems that people have with this business model. And once you start providing the solutions to those problems, guess what magically happens? Hello, Darren? Yeah? Listen, I just watched your video on YouTube, and I was noticing how you were teaching people how to become top recruiters and recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes. I want to join your business. They don't even know what I market yet. How can that be? How can somebody say, Darren, I want to join you in your business when they don't even know what my business is? They don't care, right? What they care is this. Are you a leader? Can you provide them with a proven formula that's going to get them into at least $10,000 a month? Okay, 10 grand a month, just so you know, is the gateway for people to lift off to live their passion. Okay, $10,000 a month is that gateway for liftoff. So if I took 100 people and I lined them all up, and I said, you know, Tom, how much money do you need to, you know, feel comfortable to leave your job? Darren, I need $10,000 a month, right? Next one, all the way through it. Almost all those people are going to tell me it's $10,000 a month. Unless I'm dealing with somebody who's a senior level executive, they will say 15, okay, that they need to leave their job. But the average person will tell you 10. If somebody is in a very lower demographic, right, where they are a, you know, a worker, a blue-collar worker, a secretary, you know, somebody that hasn't done a lot of personal development, or they, you know, they work at a restaurant, a server, they will typically tell you 5,000. Okay, so when I ask a question to a person and I say, you know, so Tom, give me an idea, like how much money would you need to be able to leave your job and pursue your passion on a full-time basis? I can tell where they're at by that question response. Okay, 5,000, they're low demographic. 10,000, they're average. 15,000, they're senior level management, right? I can tell a lot from asking questions, okay? So what I want to share with you here tonight, guys, is that I want to really explain to you the whole principle behind recruiting, okay? What is it? How does it work, right? How is it that you can actually have somebody purchase something, right, without talking about it? Because this is what my Millionaire mentor taught me. Okay, now I came from the world of features and benefits. I came from the world of pitching and closing. Okay, now salespeople, that's the model that they're used to. So they're wanting what's called instant gratification, right? So they're looking to pitch and get an answer, pitch and get an answer, pitch and get an answer. They don't get the whole concept of this industry. Even when they're top salespeople, they typically will fall flat on their face in home-based business. Network marketing, direct sales, they fall flat on their face, and they can't figure out why. It makes no sense to them, right? They might be a top realtor or mortgage broker, insurance agent, automotive industry, and they get into network marketing, and they fall flat on their face, right? And they can't figure it out, right? So here's an example. Let's say that I reach out to Tom. Now, my number one goal when I reach out to anybody, okay, is to change their state and to get them to laugh, okay? I want to change their state and I want to get them to laugh, okay? That's my number one goal. Now, they call that breaking the ice, but I can tell you from a quantum physics standpoint, once you understand how our bodies will synchronize, when two people are laughing at the same time, their bodies synchronize. I call it accessing the vault. So what I learned when I was raising capital with companies is to be able to come into the conversation at a very, very high resonance, very high, right? So it's like, you know, I'm going to reach out to Wesley, okay, as an example, right? And the phone rings. It's like ring, 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 ring. Wesley, what's going on? Right? Now, if you watch the replay, you will see that it triggers his physiology in his face. He like this all of a sudden. And when you watch the replay, you will see it, right? It's like an instantaneous. It's an instantaneous shift of energy that will change that person's state. So my goal is to get the person to laugh. Okay, that's step one. Step two is all I want to do is I want to find out what's happening in the person's life, right? So I call that reaching out, touching base, and saying a quick hello to find out what's going on in your world, right? And then I'm going to do what? Listen. I'm going to listen, okay? Now, if I've already changed your state, right, and I'm into accessing the vault, you will tell me everything, okay? It's truth serum. Now, once you understand how this works, guys, I'm telling you what, people will tell you their whole life story. Their whole life story, no kidding. If their home's in foreclosure, they will tell you. If their credit cards are maxed out, they will tell you. If their mother's in the hospital, they will tell you. If their marriage is on the rocks, they will tell you. They will tell you everything once you understand these concepts. Now, what I want to do is this. I want to find out what's happening in your life and listen, okay? Now, my goal is I really want to find out just where you're at in your life, right? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you in a peak? Are you in a valley? What's going on? Where are you at on this roller coaster of life, right? Because 2 years ago, somebody could be happily married, and you reach out to them, and their marriage is on the rocks, and they're getting a divorce. They're in a living hell, okay? Tons of times I've seen this happen, okay? So my goal is just to be able to, what? Connect. That's it. I'm not selling you on anything, right? But what I really want to know is I want to know what's your vision. What do you really want, right? Once I can find out what you want and get you emotionally connected to that, right? Then I'm going to get you to give me a number, whatever that number is. So you tell me that you want $10,000 a month. Then I go, really? What do you want the $10,000 a month for? Okay, now you're going to start spending the money. Okay, now what am I selling here? I'm not selling anything. You don't even know what my company or my products are. Okay, now once I find out what you want, I'm going to find out how serious are you on a scale from 1 to 10 to get to your dream. Now, if you don't give me a 10 or higher, you're disqualified right out of the gate, right? If you, oh, Darren, I'm a 15. Really? Tell me why. You're now selling me on your dream, okay? Now, once I have that, I have leverage. Leverage, just like an arm wrestle. I've got leverage because I know exactly what you want. I know what you need to leave your job to pursue your passion. I know how serious you are about it, and now you're selling me on it, right? And quite honestly, I don't even know if there's a fit here, right? I don't even know if you've qualified to even work with me, right? And it's all going to depend on what your response is to my video. And I will tell you that in the home-based business industry, in direct sales and in network marketing, this is where people go wrong with this business model. Something or someone other than you talks about your business. critical that you guys get this, okay? Now, if you come from features and benefits, like here's an example, and I'm not meaning in any way, guys, to call anybody out, because I want for you to know that this will help everybody on the team, okay? So Pat calls me this one day, right? And she's all excited, right? And she starts to tell me the story about how, there's this guy that she knows, and he's a good writer, and I'm telling you, we got this blog, and you're going to do great with this, and you're a good writer. Guys, that's not networking, right? If you do that, all you're going to get is this pushback. Even if they tell you that they're interested right now, when you go to follow up, they won't answer your phone calls. And you'd be like, what the heck? Geez, that guy seemed like he was so interested. I don't get it, right? Because there's no emotional connection to what he wants. It's not about your product. It's not about what you have. It's about what he wants. That's the difference, okay? So what I'm going to share with you is that once you get this, okay, so here's an example. I want to give you a bunch of different scenarios of what happens for me when I get an incoming phone call. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, Darren? Yeah? Darren, yeah, listen, I heard about this this company. I saw some stuff that you were working on with something to do with this iPass 2. Can you tell me about that? Okay, now here's what most people will do. Sure. Well, it's this automated system, and it generates leads, and there's you make 25 bucks, and then you make $50, and they got this other product called six-figure shortcuts. You make $100 commission on that, and then the system upsells the Empower Network products, and you can make $3,000 commissions on that, and blah 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 blah. Okay, you are selling the person out of the deal. The moment that you do this. Okay, the moment that you start doing this, you're losing the sale. Okay, now I'll show you what I do. Ring, 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 ring. Darren, yeah? Yeah. Listen, I was looking at this this deal called iPass 2. Can you tell me about that? You know what, Tom? That is a really good question. But let me ask you a question. What's happening in your world right now? What's happening in your reality? What has you looking for a business right now? Now I shut up and I listen. He's now going to give me all the information that I need to establish my baseline. Okay, what's happening in his world? Okay, is he married? Does he have children? Right? Does he work full-time or part-time? Where is he at in his reality right now? Okay? And I got a bunch of data that I'm collecting right now from him. Okay? Because I can find out, is he a business professional? Is he a waiter? Is he a plumber? Is he an engineer? I can find out where he's at. Okay? So I'm going to say, well, Tom, let me ask you this. Talk to me about your vision. What do you really want? Now what am I going to do? Listen. Listen to him. He's now going to paint the picture of his dream reality, of what he really wants. Okay? Now once I have that, I'm going to find out, what does he want the money for? And how serious is he on a scale from 1 to 10? He's going to tell me why. He's now selling me on his dream. Now how am I going to find out if he's got money or not? Here's what I do. Well, Tom, let me ask you this. Give me an idea. Like, what level of income right now are you accustomed to? Now I've got a scale, and I can find out where I can do to budget is. Okay, so if he says, well, right now I'm used to making $150,000 a year, right? Here's what I say right away. Does your wife work? Because I want to find out the combined household income, right? So he says, yeah, my wife works. Combined household income's probably about 200 grand. Guess what? He's coming in a black card, right? So I already have the baseline just from the questions. So Where is he currently at? What's his vision? What does he want? On a scale from 1 to 10, how serious is he? Really tell me why. Now I got leverage, right? Before we're even talking about any products, companies, anything, I've got leverage now, okay? So here's the next part. So let me just understand this, Tom, and I'm going to replay a bunch of stuff. So basically, what you're telling me is that your combined income's around 200 grand, right? What you really want to do is replace your income because you're tired of the, trading time for money. You really want freedom. Am I right? He's going to start answering yes. I'm asking questions that I know he's going to answer yes to. Okay, so I'm going to say questions like, well, Tom, let me ask you this. I mean, if there was a formula, right, that I could show you on exactly what you needed to do to get to that 200,000, that was a proven formula that already created 16 millionaires so far, it would make sense to follow that same formula, wouldn't it? You see how that works? He's going to say yes. I want him to be going yes, 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 yes. Okay, great. So as I understand it then, Tom, you tell me that you're a 15, right, on a scale from 1 to 10. You're really a 15, and you're really passionate about wanting to do this. Am I right? He's going to say yes, right? So let me ask you a question. I mean, if I told you what to do right now, what action steps that you needed to take right now so that you could get that $20,000 a month that you're looking for and completely have that lifestyle freedom to be able to travel around the world, do what you want, go wherever you want, would you just take action and do it, or would you fight me every step of the way? Oh no, Darren, I would definitely do it. Okay, now here's the next part. I'm now giving you commanding instructions, because this is what people are used to at their job, okay? I'm giving you commanding instructions. I've already qualified you. You've already sold me on your dream. You already told me your passion. Everything that you've got was already done, okay? So, Tom, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to send you a link to the video, okay? So you're going to get a chance to watch that video. After it's done, I want you to click the link below, get yourself enrolled. There's going to be a $47 basic membership. There's going to be a $97 pro membership, which is like having your own staff working for you, because they will call your people for you. There's a $197 six-figure shortcuts product. Once you have that, I want you to log into the front page, go to the bottom, click the button that says upgrade to black card, and call me back when you're done. Those are commanding instructions, okay? Now, he's going to have an opportunity on the video, because remember, in networking, something or someone other than you talks about your business. In our case, it's a video, right? Something or someone other than you, guys, I'm going to say it again, something or someone other than you is going to talk about your business, not you. Okay, so if you're out and about talking, and you're talking about the blog, and the this, and the that, and the automation, and this, and that, and the top producer formula, chances are you're broke. Okay, bottom line, chances are you're not making any money at this. Okay, because that's not how you do this business model. Okay, and if you get good at this, all of a sudden, you're going to be smiling because you're going to be making people laugh. And you're going to be synchronizing your bodies, and you're going to think, oh my God, is this for real? You mean all I got to do is find out where the person's at, connect them to their vision and their dream, find out what they want, right? How serious are they from a scale from 1 to 10, get them to tell you why, get some leverage, right? Find out how serious they are about it, and just take them into the river. Now, what are we talking about here? What products am I selling? I'm going to find out after he watches the video what he thinks. Until then, I'm not even talking about it, because I can't explain every single thing that video is possible, right? And it certainly is not going to be able to duplicate down my entire organization if everybody's trying to explain it. Oh, well, now what are they going to do? They're going to explain their interpretation of it, right? So what are they going to say? Well, we've got this automated system, and it generates leads over here, and then it builds a list, and then you email the list, and then it upsells the products, and as people call them the coaches, and the guy's confused already. He doesn't even know what you're talking about, right? It's too confusing. The video will do the work for you. So if you know that, if you know the video is going to do the work for you, then your goal is to get people to the video, right? That's your only goal, right? That's what we do as marketers. Now, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? What I will tell you about this model, right, is that your goal is to get to your personal breakthrough, right, where you're fully tapped into your power and you're clear. What do I mean by that? You're clear, right? You don't have any reservations that you're in the right company, or you kind of got one toe in the water. Oh, maybe I made the wrong decision. I'll probably never make any money at this, right? If that's you, that's probably not working for you, right? How is it that the same videos, the same tools, the same products that we market, that Chad Turner can have a $10,000 week last week? How's that possible? Because everybody here on the panel has the same tools, the same blog, right? The same Millionaire mentoring. Everybody has the same thing. So what's different about Chad than the rest of the people on the panel? Okay, and I'm going to tell you what it is. He surrendered his pride, he surrendered his ego, and he was coachable. That's it. And he took massive action. That's it. It's the only thing that separates him from everybody else. He shows up. He had a $10,000 week last week. Right? How about that? So the more that you hear this, the more that you hear that repetition is the mother of all learning. So if you find yourself, not talking about the person, this is what my Millionaire mentor taught me. I came from features and benefits, pitching and closing. He said, Darren, rule number one, you want to make big money in this industry or business in general, I do not want you talking about our company. Huh? How's that going to work? Right? Rule number two, you want to make big money? I don't want you talking about our products. Huh? How am I going to be able to do that? So you want me to sell these products to those people, but you don't want me talking about the company or the products? Yep, that's right. Well, what the heck am I going to talk about? Darren, if you want to make big money in business, I want you to talk about them. What? You think that if I talk about them, I'm going to sell these products? Are you for real? Yes. Guys, that changed my life. That's how I became a millionaire by the time I hit 35 years old. That's how I was able to raise tens of millions of dollars for ventures. If I'd started a concept or an idea using that same formula that I learned from that top network marketer, I got really good at raising money because it wasn't about the deal. It was about the person. If I could get connection with that person and get them to laugh and get accessing the vault, all I wanted to find out is this. This is how I've raised millions and millions of dollars, guys. Hey, Tom, just out of curiosity, do you know anybody that you can think of that if something was to land on their lap and they went, holy cow, are you for real? That they would be in a position where they were liquid and they were able to make an investment? Do you know anybody like that? Now, if he was interested, he'd say, well, Darren, I wouldn't mind finding out about what do you got? What do you got? Right? Oh, now he's asking me for permission, right? He's giving me the permission to tell him about what I have, but it's not going to be me. It's going to be a video, it's going to be an executive summary, or it's going to be a conference call with my management, not me. How about that? See the similarities there between real business and what we do right here? It's the same. Okay, it's exactly the same. So if you can get these basics, what I will tell you is that you've got to be able to be the magnet, like the detective, pulling information out of the person versus pitching. You're the pitcher, all you will get is pushback, right? That's all that you will get if you go down that model, okay? But if you're, okay, here's an example. Okay, so you're out pitching how great your skin cream is, okay? And I'm in a coffee deal. Let's say, I'm not in a coffee deal, but let's say that I was, okay? So, you know, we got this skincare. I'm telling you, the thing's taken off. It's taken off like a rocket ship. I'm not interested. I got my coffee thing. I already think that I found my ticket to the promised land, right? So let's say that you're in a energy drink deal, okay? And I come to you and I'm like, you know, I got this skincare. I mean, I'm telling you, the thing's taken off. It's taken off. I'm not interested. I got my energy drinks. I'm already on my path. Now what are you going to do? You're hooped. You've already got this. Door shut. Right? Now watch the difference with somebody that understands marketing. Now, if you want to become a leader, right, what does a leader do? Let's say that today is your very first day. Okay, you're brand new. You're a brand new newbie. You've never, ever been in an industry like this, ever. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to learn something. You're going to learn a strategy that helps people solve their problems, right? And you're going to implement it for a couple of days. During that couple of days of implementing the strategy, you're going to get some results or data that you're going to be able to share in a little mini PowerPoint presentation or on a Google Hangout like this. Or it could be on a conference call, right? Either one of the strategies. So I go now onto social media, onto Twitter or onto Facebook or onto Pinterest or onto Instagram, and I say, hey guys, I just found this strategy on how to use whatever one of the thing is. How to use Pinterest, how to use Instagram, how to use Facebook, how to use YouTube, how to use Google Hangouts, how to use this, right? In order to generate 20 leads in a day, whatever your data is, okay? If I get 40 likes, I'm going to do a webinar. What company am I targeting now? The guy over there with the energy drinks, he's interested. Has the skincare, she's interested, right? The person that's selling coffee, they're interested too. Everybody's interested. The person that's in Amway's interested, right? The person that's in prepaid legal is interested. They're all interested, and they're all already sold on this business model. How about that? There's no resistance. Okay, now here's what happens. When they come to my presentation, right, what they're really looking for, just so you know, is somebody that knows what they're doing. What they're looking for is they're looking for a leader, okay? Now, when the information that you're providing them is better than the information that they're getting from their current upline, guess what they want to know? What deal are you doing? I want to work with you. See the difference? You see the difference, guys? Yes or no? You see the difference with that? Okay. So by providing the solution to people's problems, I've got the whole industry coming to me. Coming to me. There's no resistance. By you pitching your deal onto people, all you will get is this: I'm not interested. The organo guy already thinks he's on his path. The Jeunesse Global person already thinks that they're on their path. The energy drink person already thinks that they're on their path. The prepaid legal person already thinks that they're on their path. But guess what? They're all broke because they're doing the business model wrong, and nobody's explaining how it even works. Nobody's explaining it to them, so they don't get it. And they still can't figure out why they're not making any money. They don't get it. They got the greatest products in the world, but nobody will buy them. They got the greatest story in the world, and nobody will join their team. And they're frustrated, right? Now, when you couple that with quantum physics, what happens when your thoughts and your words go to your emotions, and you're frustrated, and you go out to the electrons? Guess what happens? That's all you get in your reality. Frustration, 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 frustration. It's not working, it's not working. Nobody's joining my business, nobody's joining my business. Everybody's saying no to me, right? Why is that? Because you're communicating with the electrons. That's the secret. Thought, directed emotion that generates feeling, right? Okay, so what I want to do here, if we can, is I want, Sonia, can you please unmute?
Hello.
Okay, okay, there you are. Okay, so Sonia, what I want for you to do here, if you can, is, you know, in Nashville, something happened. In Nashville, something shifted for you in your physiology, in your confidence level, in your belief in the model, and in your belief of yourself. Something shifted internally, right? Today, when we were on a mentoring call, I want you just to share from your heart, what was that? What was the distinction? What was the big shift that happened for you today?
Okay, let's go back to Nashville first. Interesting enough, I almost didn't go to Nashville, and there was, you know, this little birdie sitting on my shoulder telling me, you know, just go, just go, because I had been to, this isn't my first rodeo, so I had been to other, you know, events with other companies, and I really didn't get much out of it, because you go there and it was like nothing but a pitch fest, you know, to buy something else. So I really didn't want to go just based on that, but, you know, I wound up going anyway. And from literally the first day, the first meeting, it was, when we walked into this room, it's like, you know, 3,000–4,000 people in this room, and you have all of the leaders there, and, you know, you could talk to them. They were giving out nuggets, you know, just like golden nuggets of information, things that if you bought it out on the open market, you would pay, you know, dearly for it. And I'm like, why are they telling me this? You know, this is great. You know, I'm writing this stuff down, but I didn't understand at the time that everybody was trying to help everyone, you know. And there was, during one of the meetings, there was this one lady, and she was on stage, and she started talking about how she was able to, you know, become successful in this business, all of the things that she went through. And it was something about her, it was something about this woman that just totally resonated with me, because she was really me. You know, I saw everything that in this woman I saw in myself. And all of a sudden, I mean, all of this, I just broke down and I just started crying, you know, because I just felt, I felt like I had finally reached a point where I really understood what I had in my hands with this business. I finally understood that this company and everybody in the company was here for all of us, you know, and that was really the moment that I understood exactly what was going on. During that time too, as I looked around the room, there were, you know, the people, just, you know, regular people like, you know, you and I, and they, I mean, it was such a moving, moment for me. And at that time, actually, Darren was standing next to me, and I was crying so bad that I just turned and I hugged him, and it was something. It was like boom, you know, and I just felt all of this energy just flowing all through me, and it was like, oh my God, I can do this. You know, I really can do this. I'm in the right place at the right time. I have everything in my hands. So that was in Nashville where the real switch came. And also, I want to tell you, I've been working with Darren now for, it's probably been a year, at least, yeah, I would say at least a good year. And all of the things that he's saying today are all of the things that he was saying a year ago. Nothing has changed. So there's a moment when, you know, a person finally, you know, understands, you know, it starts, you know, getting these clicks, and that's what was happening today. There were some clicks made with a call I had with him this morning. And what he had been telling me for the last couple of weeks, you're holding out, there's something holding you back, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what, you know, what could it be? What could it be that I'm holding back on? And we kept talking and talking, and finally he said it. It was just 3 words. He said, Sonia, what you're doing now in you know, your current line of work, what I am right now is I'm a purchasing controller over the North American operations for this, you know, automotive company. I've been in automotive now for almost 25 years. And I handle billions of dollars. I'm responsible for billions of dollars of spend for this company. And he was saying, you know, why would they trust you? Why would they trust you to do this? Why would they trust you to handle billions of dollars every day? And that's because I'm qualified. You know, they trust me and they believe in me, and that's why. And the 3 words that he said to me that just nipped it in the bud, it was like a bam. He said, Sonia, this is just a transfer of skills. It's a transfer of skills from one industry to another. And those 3 words were the words that just said, wow, wow. You know, it cleared it up. I was having a little bit of fog, you know, along the way, but transfer of skills. In my job, I have to constantly command people, you know, to do what they need to do. I need to pretty much guide them through their everyday, you know, tasks. I have to do that. And what's different between what I do, you know, at my job versus this? Well, as you just heard, you know, his explanation today, you know, it's really the same thing. You're guiding people, you're asking questions, and you're trying to find out what's going on in their lives. And that was pretty much the click for me. And also, he mentioned something else about repetition. And as I told you, I've been with Darren now for about a year. And all of this stuff that we hear from him, if you listen to it enough, it'll just, you know, embed itself into your subconscious mind. And the reason I say that is because right after the call, right after I got off the phone with him, I sent out that email that he had. I sent it out to my list, and literally within 5 minutes, I got responses back. And as I started talking to some of these people, you would have thought I was Darren Little Jr. because everything that he's saying here is what I started saying to them without me even realizing that I was doing it. And that's how I know that the repetition of, hearing this information and absorbing it, it's there. It was always there. It just took this one last thing that he said was holding me back. It took that for me to finally, for it to click that that's all it was. It's just a transfer of skills. So there you have it, Darren. Back to you.
Fantastic. Now here's what I'm going to tell you guys. For if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on social media, what I want for you to really understand and get here is that when you start a business, okay, what's different here? So many people will get you into a business and they're like, okay, we'll see you at the top, see ya, right? They just, okay, well, bye, right? Because they come from the world of pitching. So in a salesman's world, their deal is done. In this industry, your job just started to mentor that new person, right? So this right here is millionaire mentoring. This right here is you being able to be connected and coached so that you can get to your personal breakthrough, right? So we have within our team, we have a private secret Facebook group where all of our successes get shared with the whole group. Okay, so as an example, when I send out an email about Chad Turner having a $10,000 week last week, right, I post all my copy with the pictures and everything that I've sent off to my list, and all you've got to do is copy that, load it into your autoresponder, copy the picture, change the links out to yours, and send it out to your list, right? So today I did a story on Rex Harris that you're going to hear from shortly, right? And Rex has a really, really amazing story, guys, and I want him to share that, because here's what can happen, okay, with people in general in life. You can have massive amount of talent, like Sonia. You can have massive amount of skill, like Sonia. You can have massive amount of the ability to create content, like Rex. You can have massive amount of ability to speak to people with conviction, like Richard, and still not make money. How about that? Because the frequency is slightly off. And if you've got a radio station and that radio station is off the station, you can turn that sucker up as loud as you want, and you're never going to hear any music. All you're going to get is static, guys. So it's important for you to understand that this industry is a leadership business model, and it's not until you're prepared to be what I call a naked soul, right? I don't have an agenda when I'm reaching out to touch base with you. I'm naked, right? I'm naked. You don't have to take off all your clothes in order to do this, guys, right? But I'm going into the conversation with one agenda and one agenda only. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to change your state. I'm going to connect you to your vision and your dream. I don't have any agenda. I want to be able to help you solve your problem. What's your problem? I don't know. Let's have a conversation and try and find out. I don't know. I don't even know if this is a fit here, right? I don't have an agenda. I don't have it in my being that I'm trying to pitch you or sell you or make money off of you. It's not within my being. My goal is to be able to help you to solve your problem. What's your problem? I don't know. Let's try and find out, right? If you don't have a problem, I can't help, right? If you don't have any pain, I can't help, right? So, but here's the thing that I will tell you as you're on the road to your breakthrough, okay? Now, we all go through this, guys, okay? We all go through this. There's something that we battle that's called the human condition. The human condition, okay? Now, just so you know, okay, just accept this to be true. Your human brain is programmed to self-destruct. Your human brain is programmed to self-destruct. And it takes a considerable amount of daily personal development, feeding your mind with different concepts, different ideas, for that information to overcome the crippling, self-defeating thoughts, words, and emotions that come out of your body. Okay? So once you accept that, and you realize that you as a human being, your ego is not going to want to be proven wrong. Okay? Your ego is not going to be wanted to prove wrong. So you will resist it. You will resist it. I don't need any help. I got this covered. I already got it all figured out, Darren. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I already got it all figured out. I don't need your help. Right? This is what most people will do. Right? So I've had people that have come into my organization, highly skilled, highly talented, they look great, right? They're good at certain skills, but their ego will not let them be coachable. And guess what? Your ego will keep you broke. Just so you know. Your ego will keep you broke. Okay? And if you're slightly out of tune, right? You're slightly out of tune, you're broadcasting that static, you'll continue to go down the cycle of the rabbit hole, the rabbit hole, the rabbit hole, the rabbit hole, until finally you can't take the financial burden, the emotional burden that's coming down on you like this, right? And at some point in time, it will get so heavy that you will literally buckle at the knees and break down and bawl your eyes out. And you'll finally surrender at some point, right? You'll finally surrender your ego to be coachable. Now, when that happens, guys, it's amazing what happens after that, okay? Money will flow to you like a river of abundance once you surrender your ego, right? So, Rex, can you just unmute? Rex, you there?
I am here.
Okay, Rex, what I want for you to do, if you can, man, is, you know, just be a little bit vulnerable here. Tell the evolution of that resistance that you went through and how you fought it every step of the way. Skin and screaming.
I lost your audio there.
Okay, just if you can share with people about the resistance and how the ego can keep people stuck, and how the surrender and relinquishing and loving yourself enough to feel worthy and deserving is really truly the gateway. Talk about that evolution of what happened for you.
Okay, sure. Well, it's been kind of a roller coaster ride of evolutions. It's been a lot of up.
You're cutting out there on your audio.
My greatest struggle ability for sure. Go through these. Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're cutting out there, buddy.
All right, let me refresh real quick.
Okay. Okay, so I want to just go quickly over to Chad Turner if we can. Chad, can you unmute?
Yo, what's up, Darren?
Okay. You know, Chad, you got a really great story, because your story really is like, you know, sort of the American dream, right? Really, it really is like the American dream for so many people, to be in a situation where you threw your hat over the wall. You didn't even have the amount of money that you needed to go all in on your dream, but somehow, some way, you found the money, right, to be able to start that evolution, and within your first month, you had a $3,000 day, and then the snowball continued into having at least one $3,000 day per month. And then now we're in the 5th month, and last week you had 3 different times, 3 people that went all in, that you had a $10,000 week, okay? So what I want for you to do for the viewers here today is just share a little bit about your mindset shift. What had to happen for you to be able to go from being a waiter, making $2,100 a month, to now being a mentor with your own students in the top 100, and now having a $10,000 week in your 5th month? Because this is a great story. So just share a little bit about that.
Well, so for me, I kind of just, I got involved in this industry maybe 3 or so years ago. And I just kind of always, once I decided that I was going to do it, I was 100% confident in myself that one way or another I was going to make it work. Just because I've always had that sort of dedication to anything that I do. Like growing up, I played basketball. That was like my thing. And yeah, I just got really good at that. And, school, I had all A's throughout high school, like every single class. Took advanced classes, and I just really always, like, if I did something, I didn't do it, half-assed, so to say. So I've always been really confident. And then I'd say the main key to my success for everything taking off in this business is really plugging into your mentoring. And at the beginning, like, I didn't have, just $4,000 sitting in my bank account to go black card, even though before I got in, I knew I wanted to go black card. I knew that once I got there, the floodgates were going to open, because I had done other things in the past, and I could just see the quality in the system. I just knew that it was it, and I had been going with the flow for so long, and all these different events just kept happening, one thing after another, just, leading me down my path. And I always know that if something happens, even if I don't think that it should be happening, I still know that I'm always going down the right path, just because that's the way I just kind of program myself to always think, no matter what happens, I'm always on the right path. And then, so like getting in this business, talking to you about, the first step to go to the next level is surrendering your pride and your ego. Now, I'll be completely honest with everyone here. Like I said, I didn't have $4,000 in my bank account. I actually had been living off savings for like a few months, just trying to make it work, But then one thing with me, I never like to ask anyone for money, ever, period. And, I went and talked to you, and, you went through that story with me about, your parents getting involved in a car crash. You need $10,000. You need to come up with it, period. You need to get that money. And then when you look at it like that, I was like, all right, you can identify how you can get the money. And, I asked my dad for the money. I didn't want to at all. And it was just one of those things, like I had so much conviction when I asked him for it, because it wasn't like I was just asking just to, just to get money to like do something. It was like, I know that once I got this money, my whole life was going to change forever, so it just eventually, it happened. And that was, like you told me, you're like, once I told, it was just surrendering the pride and ego. And I knew for myself that was the thing. I'd never have really asked for money from anyone like my whole life, really. That's just something I don't like to do. I've never really had to worry about money. But when push came to shove, I knew that was my gateway. So I never looked back after that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, Wes, you have a similar story yourself. If you can maybe just unmute for a sec, because when you and I first started chatting, you weren't all in on your dream. You were partway in, kind of like dipping your toe in the water, but something started to shift in Millionaire Mentoring because I was witnessing it, you know, as we're talking on these exchanges.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because something started to change in your body. Something started to shift in your mindset. Talk to me a little bit about that.
What I noticed was after a couple of sessions, of just, you know, jumping online, finding out from the videos that you told me to go watch, I could see, I finally got a clear picture of where it is that I wanted to be. And by doing that, it just made sense that I'm wasting my time if I keep dipping my toe in the water, which is what I've done my entire life. And so it just got to a point now where it was like, if I don't do something about this now, in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, but the day I die, I'm still going to be exactly where I am now. And so it was literally just drawing a line in the sand. It was saying, enough's enough. This is it. This is what I have to do. I've got to figure out a way to go black. I didn't have the money. And so I literally was get rid of the car. It was call my grandparents and get a loan from them. And so I literally did whatever it took to get to black card as quick as possible. So.
Okay, so what I want for you just to share with the people here is that once you made that decision and once you started to actually show up for Millionaire Mentoring, because guys, you know, here's what I want for you to understand if you're watching this, okay? Because we've got hundreds and hundreds of people in our group, okay, in our Millionaire Mentoring team, okay? It's called the iPass 7-figure profit maximizers, and within our group, okay, when somebody starts with a blog, which you need as a leader, your central hub, right, and mindset training, right, which is not a lot of money, it's $144.95, we give you a $3,000 bonus, right, on the science behind getting rich and how to connect with people and how to never ever get rejected ever again in your business, and how to get your phone ringing with incoming phone calls, and how to develop a $9,000 a day mindset, right? And when I implemented these strategies, by my first 3 weeks, I had my first $3,000 day. Into my second month, I was having $6,000 days. Into my third month, my best day was $7,163, okay, by implementing the strategies that we teach, a $3,000 bonus that you get for $144.95, right? So if you've been sort of following this and you want to be able to do that, reach out to the person that invited you to this particular broadcast and, you know, just take action, right? Because this is a partnership. This is like having, you know, mentoring to Millionaire. This is an interactive process where you're going to get to your personal breakthrough. Now, all these people that are here right now are all what's called Black Card members. That's where they get access to our quantum physics Millionaire Mentoring. Okay, now that's how I became a millionaire at 35 years old, guys. Okay, was I learned these strategies on wealth creation. There's 5 simple steps to wealth creation that we teach. Okay, they're super easy, but you got to do them. And one of them being just showing up, right? So all of these people, okay, so imagine this. Imagine that I post into the group about the mentoring, right? The mentoring program that we have. And, you know, there's people having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough all last week, okay? But the people in the group are like, hey, I want to get that training too, right? So I said, okay, guys, on Sunday night, I'm going to do a real millionaire mentoring. I'm going to really take you behind the scenes. I'm going to really share the stuff that you need to learn to get to your personal breakthrough. Guess what? None of them are here, except all my Black Card members. How about that? How about that? 80% of success is just about showing up. to get to your breakthrough. Okay, so Wes last week, right, we had 4 back-to-back sessions, and some of them lasted for 2 hours. Wes was on every single one, right? Chad, doesn't matter what time of day, right? If I said, hey, are you there, right? If I'm on Facebook, hey, you there? Yeah, meet me on Skype. Boom, he's there, right? That fast. That's what it takes, guys. You've got to be emotionally connected to your dream so that you can taste it. That's how much you've got to be emotionally connected to your dream. So when I say to a person, well, so Tom, give me an idea. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most serious, how serious would you say that you are about making $10,000 a month, getting that BMW M6, putting the extension on the home, retiring your mom, starting the college fund for your kids? How serious would you say that you are about that? Now, if Tom says, oh, about an 8, sorry, man, you don't qualify. Bottom line. Because I know that if you're 20% of your brain has already given up, okay, 2 weeks from now it's 40%, 30 days from now you've already quit. And I'm not investing my millionaire mentoring time into somebody that's not a 10 or higher, right? Because I've taken people from completely homeless, and 6 months later they made 20 grand in a month, right? So the system's not up for trial here. My mentoring is not up for trial, okay? My best year in business is almost $4 million, so I'm not talking about this from a textbook or some seminar that I've been to, or hey guys, let's give this a good college try. Let's see if this works, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about the real deal, okay? If you're in our mentoring program, I can say this 100% honestly. When you learn my system, you will never, ever, ever have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. And that, my friend, you can take to the bank. And I'm very serious. I take my mentoring very, very seriously, and I call these people on a personal basis to help get them to their breakthrough. Sonia, how long did we talk today?
We talked probably at least 40 minutes or so. About 40 minutes, I would say.
Okay. So today I invested an extra 40 minutes, and something that I said got Sonia to her breakthrough today. Something that I said to her in 40 minutes, boom, breakthrough. Now, you can be in a contained reality, right? And all you get is hitting the wall, hitting the wall, hitting the wall, hitting the wall, right? You think you're going to make the money, oh. You think you're going to make the money, oh. You think you're going to be, oh, it didn't work. You try all these other things, they didn't work. This is different, guys. Why? Because I teach quantum physics, the actual science. I'm talking laboratory, scientific research on wealth creation. Science in a laboratory to explain to you how it works, how we create our realities. How do you manifest what you want? Okay, now my real first shot at manifesting following my mentor, guys, I had a 1989 Pontiac Firefly that wasn't even mine. I didn't even have a car. Okay, I was making $5 grand a month, working as vice president with this company in marketing, and I had some stock options and everything else. And my mentor taught me a strategy that we teach in our mentoring program. And 11 months later, I was driving a brand new 996 Porsche Carrera. Brand new, right off the lot. Okay? Plus I had a 5,500 square foot mansion and $1 million. 11 months. Following the formula. Following the system that we teach. So I can tell you that this is very real. There's no hype here, guys. I don't need to hype anybody on our training because this is the real McCoy. This is real, true millionaire mentoring where you're going to be guided along the path until you get to your breakthrough like what Sonia did today. So Rex, share with us some of your personal breakthrough. Rex?
All right, let's try this again. Can you guys hear me now? We're good? You can hear me? Cool. All right. Well, you know, I've been working with Darren for quite some time, and as I stated there when we started a few minutes ago, the majority of my journey has been a roller coaster. And up until the time that I met Darren, the only thing I can say is thank God I did, because I honestly don't even know where I would be had that not happened. And there's been so many moments where different breakthroughs have taken place, and there were times where I'd have these breakthroughs and I would not feel worthy or deserving of that particular breakthrough, and I would crash again. And of course, I would be on the phone with Darren again, and I mean, it happened time and again that this whole just up and down emotional nightmare that I was living. And I can remember at least a dozen conversations with Darren where he would say things to me during a call that would cause me to, I guess, wake up a little bit more and see what other people were seeing. And I don't, even to this day, still know completely what caused all of this. And I don't even think I really need to know what caused all of it anymore, because things have, like I said, in the last 8 months especially, have just completely unfolded for us here. But what I took from that was that it doesn't matter what you've done, and it doesn't matter, you know, what quote unquote sins you might be holding against yourself. It's easier for people to forgive you than it is for you to forgive yourself. So what Darren had me start doing was this mirror work, was, you know, standing in the bathroom wherever there was a mirror. You know, I loved myself enough to forgive myself. And that was a very uncomfortable thing, because there's a lot of things that happened when I was younger that I did not want to forgive myself for. I quite honestly felt like I deserved an eternity in hell for some of the things I did when I was younger. And when I started doing the mirror work, one of the things that I guess just came to the surface was I'm not doing anybody any good, including myself, by constantly kicking myself for the things I've done in the past over and over again. I'm not doing my kids any good. I'm not doing my wife any good, my family, anybody, by continually beating myself down and just punishing myself like I was. So, as I had shared the other night, you know, I'd had a couple of these, what I like to call my Lieutenant Dan moments, where if you guys have seen the movie Forrest Gump, when Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump are going through the storm, and Lieutenant Dan is up on the mast of the ship, and he's just having it out with God. I've had a couple of those moments over the years. And the second one that I had, I basically just ended up curled up in the fetal position in the shower one morning, because I was at an absolute complete loss with myself. And I didn't understand, you know, why things kept happening the way they did at that time. I didn't understand why, you know, I couldn't get past, you know, so much of this stuff that had taken place years and years ago that really nobody else even thought about anymore except for me. I was really the only one dredging this crap up over and over and over again. And that's when Darren started to help me recognize what was taking place, and he started to educate me on ego. And when I started to recognize that this thing called the ego was a real problem with me, I did an exercise that I'd been putting off for years since I met Darren. I finally did the opening of the vortex. And as I was doing the opening of the vortex one night, I finally just came to the point where I want this breakthrough no matter what. If I've got to stand in the bathroom and cry for hours and whatever I got to do to forgive myself enough to love myself and move forward, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So I sat down to start doing this exercise, and it was going smooth until I got to relationships and family. And I had filled out this entire exercise, and the entire timeline for relationships and family was blank. There was nothing there. Nothing here at all, guys. Nothing. And I called Darren, and I told him about that, and he's like, dude, he says, you're screwed. Basically, and I'm just like, why is that not there? So, I mean, I can relate with so many of the challenges that people face when it comes to breaking through that wall that exists of being able to forgive yourself. And there was one thing that Darren told me, and it was about a year ago that he told me this. I had gotten involved in yet one more project that ended up just being with a bunch of people that were unethical and just making some bad decisions. And we were having a conversation, and he just kind of, I'm not going to say he snapped at me, but he got real firm with me. He says, bro, you know what your problem is? And I'm like, what? Tell me what my problem is. He says, you're a rock star, and he says, everybody sees it but you. And at that moment, I don't know what happened, but a real shift took place in me that night. And that's when I started to see myself in a different light. And it was right around that time that an opportunity had opened up for me to express that self by creating a digital product for a training platform that was developed here, I guess, I don't know, a year and a half or so ago. And I realized that through everything that I had been through here, finally about 8 months ago, I said, the light just came on, and I was thinking to myself, the reason for the roller coaster, dude, is because of the inconsistency. You start and you stop, you start and you stop, you start and you stop. Okay, and for whatever reason, you can't get past this place where you're just willing to forgive yourself. And somehow, some way, I finally just came to that point in all of this where I finally realized that, you know what, it's going to continue to be the same thing or even worse if you don't just stop this nonsense and let stuff go. So I finally did that. I finally started getting consistent every day with the I love myself enough to forgive myself, and the I am proclamations, and getting into the audios and getting into the reading and everything else, and making sure that I was staying on point with it. And I started to feel myself begin to move to a level, and just of peace and calm in my life that I had not experienced before. And it got to the point where I was sharing the other night that the I am proclamations, because of the fact that I stuck with them, started to become habit. And I started to see the benefits of that. And I started to see faster manifestations in our business. I saw opportunities open up, like the Rockstars at JV Zoo book. I saw the opportunity that came with our house, and everything that happened when I made that conscious decision to just stay in that state all the time. And I'm not going to say for a second it was easy and that I don't still struggle with it, because that wouldn't be the truth. Okay? But what I know now is that when I feel myself even getting the slightest bit complacent, I'm right back into it. I am, the proclamations. And, you know, staying in that state of grace for myself where, you know, if I do get one of these thoughts that comes in, and I still get them, guys, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if they're ever going to go away. I really don't. And for some of you, they may never go away. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But what I can tell you is that it doesn't matter, because they're not the truth. Okay? And I basically learned to deal with that and just realize, you know what? There's for some reason there's an enemy here, Rex, that's working diligently to try to keep you from stepping into your birthright. You know, there's something here. And, you know, like I said, maybe someday it'll go away. I don't know. Okay? But at this stage of the game, I don't care anymore, because when those thoughts do come in, I've just learned to dismiss them and realize that that's the lie. That's not a truth. I spent my jeez. I spent I spent 43 and a half years, guys, believing this lie. And to come to the point where you realize that the truth is what you think and what you speak and what you believe, and understand that nothing's ever going to change on the outside until you change on the inside. And if you still have those thoughts that try to break in and knock you off your game or anything like that, you just dismiss it, because you know it's no different than, you know, walking down the street and having some dude say, "Hey dude, you're a loser. You don't know me. You don't have any idea." Okay? I'm not a loser. As a matter of fact, let me tell you exactly what I am. And staying in that place all the time. And in doing that, I mean, what we have seen take place in our life has been, you know, what most people would consider miraculous, just even in the last, you know, 6.5, 7 months. You know, and, you know, the greatest encouragement that I can give you is that regardless of whatever it is that is keeping you from stepping in to that power and just embracing it, and realizing that, I guess, you know, as a warrior, okay, you're probably going to confront some enemies along the way. You may, you know, you may start getting haters online. I mean, many of us have experienced that. You can't take that stuff personally, and it doesn't matter whether it comes from another source or whether it comes from one of these thoughts, whether they come in, you know, whether they come from the outside in, or it's just stuff that I think what a lot of it is, quite honestly, is that when you begin to let more light into your life, when you think about it, our subconscious mind is a lot like a computer. And if you think about a lot of the, like T. Harv Eker talks about in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, a lot of these old files that we have brought into our subconscious through what we have believed about ourselves to be true, what I came to realize is what I think a lot of what it is that I experience is a lot of that stuff leaving. And I think it's just running its mouth as it goes, you know, because the darkness can't stay where the light is. And the more light you bring in through, you know, prayer and meditation, if you do that, or, you know, whatever it is that you study, you know, as far as reading is concerned, and, you know, the incantations and proclamations, the more you embrace that, this other stuff has to leave. And I finally just, you know, just chose to believe that that's what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing this darkness leaving when I hear these things. you know, they don't want to leave. They want to stay there. They want to have a home, and they're just basically, as I kick them out, they're like the bad tenant as a landlord that, you know, is going to run his mouth all the way out the door, if, you know, even if the cops got to come and drag him out of the driveway. So that's how I've chosen to look at it. And since I've done that, it's been a freeing experience. I just honestly couldn't put it into words. But what I can tell you, what has happened is that enough of it has departed that now I am on the inside what is going to manifest on the outside. I believe that now. My subconscious mind is getting on board with the conscious thoughts, with the proclamations. I'm not feeling that, because I used to do the proclamations and the incantations, and I would feel this knot inside of me, like you know, oh, that's just not the truth. But well, I don't feel that anymore. Now I feel something completely different. Now I feel the subconscious mind getting on board with this. So I think, again, a lot of what has happened is just so many of those thoughts and feelings and emotions that you might be experiencing through this process, it's just darkness, you know, it's just darkness vacating the premises. You know, so be thankful for that when you experience those things. And I'll leave you with this. A book that I've come to respect since I've been reading it over the last couple of years is The Game of Life and How to Play It. And one of the things that Florence Scovel Shinn says in there is that a lot of times before you have a major manifestation, a major breakthrough in your life, you will get those tormenting thoughts. You will get that negative crap will try to derail you and knock you off your path. So you can take it as two things. A, it's all the negative crap leaving your body and mind, and B, it's just proof that you are really on the verge of breaking through to greatness in your life. So thank you guys for allowing me to share tonight. Aaron, back to you, bro.
Fantastic. Guys, you know what? Here's what's so great about this, okay? You can't fake this stuff, guys. You can't fake it. You can feel the emotions coming from Rex. That's when you know that somebody is speaking their truth, right? When they're talking about their evolution, they're talking about their personal breakthrough, and just so you guys know, okay, abundance is always around us, okay? It's always around us. The human condition is deservability, worthiness, self-love, and boundaries, okay? So we as human beings actually push the abundance away from us because we don't feel worthy of it. We don't feel deserving of it, okay? Clear this in here, and you start to speak about the reality that you want, right? And you're emotionally connected to your dream, whatever your dream is, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter how much money that you want to make. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I talk to people, I say, give me an idea of how much money you want to be able to make. Now, if you're one of these people, okay, that says this, well, I don't really need a lot. I just want to be able to just get by, right? If you're one of the people that's saying that, that's your own personal deservability and worthiness, okay? So when I, as an example, because I believe that there's not enough money in the world that can pay me for my worth. So when I go start to, you know, look at a car as an example that costs $2.25 million for the car, okay? And I post it on Facebook, and people would go, oh, I would never, ever buy a car like that, right? All they're doing is they are pushing the abundance flow away from them to say they're not worthy of that. Because if you can afford to buy a car for $2.25 million, you can be rest assured that you're giving tens of millions of dollars away to charity. tens of millions of dollars away to charity for world causes and world change, right? So a lot of people will say, you know, oh, Darren, I would never go out and spend, you know, $35,000 on a watch. Bummer for you, right? That means you don't feel worthy or deserving, and you will never access the universal abundance flow. It's not possible for you. You're pushing it away, right? So the biggest part of you going from where you're at in a little bubble, right, to opening that up and surrendering and relinquishing and loving yourself enough to feel worthy of that abundance, right? That's going to be daily activity, guys, okay? Once you just own this, that there is something called the human condition, right? And you're going to have some amazing days, and you're going to have some terrible days. And there's always sunshine that comes after the rain. Once you're okay with that, and you accept that, now all of a sudden, instead of going like this, and then a crash, and then this, and then a crash, you can start to kind of go like this, right? That's the key. You want to be able to do a little bit of this, right? So if you feel yourself going into euphoria, you want to connect in the forest. Go for a walk in the forest, connect with the trees, right? Do a meditation, go for a workout to bring your vibrational frequency down a little bit, because until you have a crash, right? Now a crash can take you out of the game of life for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I've seen people actually have to go on to antidepressants because they were so far up into euphoria that the universe has to rebalance itself, right? So in order for it to get here, it first has to go there to get back up to here, right? So you will have what's called a universal crash. And until you've experienced what that actually is, you may not know what I'm talking about, right? But as you start to do more personal development and you start to get some of the stuff out of your body, right, some of these emotions, and free yourself of these emotions, right, in your Pandora's box right here, right, it will start to bubble up. It will start to bubble up when you start talking about stuff that happened to you in your past, right? And we have a whole training on that, guys, okay, a whole training. It's called Unleash the Alpha Within, right? That's part of our bonuses. I told you that we've got $3,000 worth of bonuses that we take our team through: Unstoppable Vision, Unleash the Alpha Within, How to Recruit New Reps in 6 to 45 Minutes, How to Develop a $9,000 a day mindset, How to Connect with people from the heart, right? How to be authentic so that you can speak your truth, right? All of these things are going to morph and mold and sculpt and morph and mold and sculpt until you blossom like a butterfly and you become a leader, right? Where this, what we're doing here today, just so you know, this is leadership, guys. This right here, what we're doing. Okay, so I'm just talking to a screen, right? I'm talking to my screen, but you're watching this right now on YouTube. You could be watching it on social media. Now here's the power of this. I want you to really understand this, because if you're working a conventional job, right, it requires you, in order to get paid, right, it requires you to show up at work. The model that I teach people doesn't. It doesn't require you. Does to do this, right? Because right now what I'm doing is cloning myself. And I'm going to clone myself with this onto YouTube, and I'm going to clone myself this again onto Google+, and I'm going to clone myself again with this onto Twitter, and I'm going to clone myself again onto Facebook, so that when I go to sleep tonight, I might have 6 more copies of me working for me while I'm sleeping. How about that? So when I go grocery shopping tomorrow, or I go to run errands, I have cloned copies of me that are empowering people. I've got cloned copies of me that are teaching people how to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes. I've got cloned copies of me that are tapping people into their personal power. All over the world, guys. Right now, as we speak, there's cloned copies of me that are connecting with people. Now, here's the power of this. I will have a lot of times people will call me and they'll say, hello, is this Darren Little? I go, yeah. I just want you to know that I was on YouTube and I was looking up Eric Worre, and your video popped up on the side, and I watched it, and I've been watching your videos the entire weekend. The entire weekend that they've been watching the Millionaire Mentoring. Now, here's what happens. By the time they call me, they already feel like they're talking to one of their best friends because they spent the whole weekend with me. You see how that works, guys? You see the power of that? So what I teach people how to do is clone themselves. So imagine this. You've got some special DNA formula from the future, and you can call into a laboratory and say, yeah, guys, I'll take another 50 copies of me. Yeah. Okay, can you have those ready on Thursday of next week? That's the power of the internet. And once you learn this, guys, I'm telling you this, because let me ask you a question. If you had 1,000 of you working while you're sleeping, if you had 1,000 copies of you working while you're at your job, you think you might make a little bit more money? If you can only work 8 hours a day, and I can work 10,000 hours in a day, who do you think is going to make more money? Think about it. You work 8 hours, I work 10,000 hours, right? Makes sense. I'm probably going to make more money, right? Right? If I got that amount of copies of me that are still working for me while I'm sleeping. That's how you can start waking up to a $3,000 day to start your day, right? Which is what we have a lot happening right now on our team because people are getting the concept. So here's what you need. The first thing that you need, if you want to change your life, you want to stop doing the conventional making a list of your friends and family and pitching them on your deal to getting massive amounts of rejection. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to do home parties, right, where you're traveling all over town trying to do these home party events, okay? You need to have a blog, okay? The blog is your central hub. That's where people are going to find out about you, right? They're going to, I've got one blog post that's about me and my son and how I take him to the exotic car dealerships all the time. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, McLaren, Bentley, right? I take him to these car dealerships very, very often because I teach him about quantum physics and I teach him about energy transference. When you have a car that's worth $500,000 and you just stand beside it, just touch it, right? Or you sit in it, something happens. There's energy transference that goes from the car into your body, and your cells start to go, and they start to surrender to wealth, right? It's part of the stuff that we talk about in our Millionaire Mentoring. So the one blog post, guys, that one single blog post, okay, the story about me and my son, and there's pictures and all sorts of things. They get a chance to meet my son, right? That one blog post has created for me since the 7th of February almost $9,000. One blog post, but it didn't require me. It didn't require, once I put it up on my blog, right? After it's there, it didn't require me after that to do anything. It's still working right now. There's people that are out reading my blog right now, right? So the blog becomes this clone version of you And as there's these blog posts and they get shared onto social media and shared onto Twitter and shared onto Instagram and shared onto Pinterest, guess what magically happens? You've got massive people connecting with your story, and they see a little banner off to the side and they go, oh, what's that? Click, down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole. So the whole sales presentation doesn't require you, right? The sales presentation is all automated, and it works for you while you're sleeping, while you're working, while you're on vacation. I mean, I just went to Maui for 2 weeks and last month, and while I was golfing with my parents, right, and I posted some pictures of my Maui vacation, but while I was on my holiday, you know, I was like, diddling. It's like, oh, cool, I just made $1,000 while I'm on the golf course. Now, that doesn't happen with a three-way phone call, make a list of your friends and family business model, right? Now, imagine this. I want you to picture this, guys, because the cloned copies of you is just one aspect of the business. It's only one aspect, okay? What I want for you to understand about the model, right, is that by me mentoring and coaching Chad Turner, right, Chad, as he's evolving into his own leadership, right, and he brings in people at the black card level, his business is going to send me $9,000, $9,000 for helping get him into liftoff, to help him become a leader, right? So, but what I want for you to understand is that every single person that I work with in a mentoring program, it's the same. Okay, so we've got, you know, there's 10 people here across the line. There's 200 in the Millionaire Mentoring group, and it's growing. We've hit what's called a critical mass point, where it's like, you know, the energy, just so you know how it works. If you start a new business, there will be an invisible barrier like this that will stop you from advancing, will stop you from your breakthrough, okay? So if I reach out to somebody and you go, tell me what's happening in your business, and you go, well, I talked to this one guy. He seems pretty interested. Okay, you're broke, right? Because you don't have enough front-end inertia to get liftoff, right? So you have to have a compressed energy force to go, right, to pop. So imagine that there's 200 people in this bubble, and all of a sudden, pop, like popcorn, right? So when that happens, that's when your income can go from 100,000 up to boom, $750,000, or you know, a couple hundred grand to pop 1.5 million because of the energy force. And as we're teaching quantum physics, as we're teaching you how to create your own reality and how to manifest things into your world, this is when the magic happens, guys. This is when the true magic happens in your business, where you literally will never, ever have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. So, Chad Turner, any closing thoughts?
Just really great tonight. Yeah, I'm ready to rock this week.
Cool. Mary, any closing thoughts?
Rex was awesome. I just really loved his story. Thank you, Rex.
Okay. Thank you, Rex. So, Mary, just ask me while we got you here on video, what has Millionaire Mentoring done for you in the last 90 days with your conventional business?
Oh, can you? We're getting feedback here. Mute yourself.
Okay.
Hello? Oh, much better. It's gone vertical. I mean, totally just boom. I mean, just like, it just seems like it's overnight. The only explanation I can find for it is this quantum physics. I mean, that's the only explanation I can find for it. That's it. It's phenomenal.
So, so Mary, let me ask you this. You know, when we're talking about an increase in business, just so people can get an idea. So your business before, guys, just so you know, this is Mary's land-based conventional business. She's got a food manufacturing company. So where was your sales at before, and where are they at now? You're gonna have to unmute yourself again. I'll mute myself.
Well, I've had several increases, but the most recent increase was last week. We actually had like a like almost a 250% increase in sales just in 1 week, and I mean it's just unheard of, and it's coming from these stores in Canada actually. That just decided, boom, we like your stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what this week gives us, because it's Memorial Weekend. So, and a lot of people will be buying salads. So, I mean, we could have another record.
Cool, awesome. Well, that's great news. Okay, so Pat McKeon, any closing thoughts? You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I wanted to say thank you to the team, and Rex Harris. That was incredible. I was right there with him. And I also need to recommit to doing my mirror work and proclamations. And just very congratulations, Dad, for your rocket ship takeoff this week, and Mary and Stacey, who I communicated with this week. I'm really blessed to be on the team. And thanks to you, Darren. Lessons this week about surrendering my ego.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, Richard, any closing comments?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Again, great training. I do have a question. You mentioned in the beginning of your presentation, when you were building, what's the term? Your group, or however you mentioned that. Do you know anyone interested? And I didn't hear the rest.
Oh, I was talking about when I was raising capital, like, you know, venture capital, right? So, you know, I would reach out, touch base, say quick hello, get them to laugh. So now I've opened up the vault, right? I call that accessing the vault. And so we're both laughing. Oh, that's good. Hey, Tom, just out of curiosity, do you know anybody that you can think of that if something was to land on their lap and they went like, holy cow, are you for real? That they would be in a position where they're liquid and they would be able to make an investment? Do you know anybody like that? Right? That's for raising money. Okay. Right? It's a different business model. If I was doing that looking for somebody who could be an international expansion leader, what I would do, we're coming down off the laugh. Oh, that's good. Hey, Tom, just out of curiosity, do you know anybody right now that you can think of that's either in between careers or underpaid at their job that might have the qualifications to roll out an international expansion? Right now, I'm just doing a couple of key people. You know, typically first year, they're looking at, you know, 150 to 200K. Second year, about 300 grand. Can you think of anybody off the top of your head that might have the qualifications that I can get in front of? Right? That's me recruiting top-level executives. Right? Because there's a lot of people right now out there, just so you know, that have been downsized, cut back, pink slipped, and they're actually overqualified to go back into the job force. So what are they going to do? They're hooped.
That's true.
They're hooped. What are they going to do? Where are they going to get another job, right? So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody that has been senior level management, like somebody like Sonia, as an example, right? Sonia has all the skills. She's already dealt with billions of dollars. She's already orchestrated and had to lead a team, right? That's the type of person, right? There's a lot of people right now that are actually sort of at the very end. They got maybe a severance package, and now what are they going to do? They were going to be retired. They got a little severance package, but they got laid off, right? Now they got all this time on their hands. What are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that I want. Now, typically what I do, if I'm doing something like that strategy, here's what I do, guys. I have a box of business cards, literally, a box, right? Like probably a couple thousand business cards from going out and about or going to a seminar, going here, going there, going to, you know, Business After Business, the Vancouver Board of Trade, the Chamber of Commerce event, you know, some fundraiser, and I meet people, right? Let's say I got a bunch of business cards. So I go through all those business cards and I separate them into the highest quality, most influential people that I know, right? So these are typically, you know, CEO of this, vice president of this, you know, medallion club in real estate, mortgage brokers, high-end people, okay? These are people that are typically what I call in the know, okay? Now, what happens when somebody loses their job? They typically call those people, because they're the most connected, and they say, hey, listen, you know, if you hear of anything that's out there, if you hear of any opportunities that come up, I just want to let you know I'm open right now, or I just lost my job right now, or I just got cut back. So those people are my pinnacle people. All I got to do is reach out to them and ask them who do they know, and if they're a person that's in transition or breaking point themselves, they'll say, well, I wouldn't mind finding out. What do you got, Darren? Right? So now what do? Well, you know what? I don't even know if there's a fit here. Okay, so I pull it right back. I don't even know if there's a fit here. I mean, quite honestly, I don't even know if you'd be qualified. So if they're an A-type personality, they're like, well, what do you got to do to be qualified? Right? Well, I'll tell you what. You got a pen? Okay, watch this video and call me back. Now, depending on what the response is to the video is whether or not they're going to be qualified or not, right? So I'm not emotionally connected to it in any way. I don't care. It makes no difference to me, because I can tell you this. I'm blazing a trail so fast that all people will see is my dust and my results. That's it. That's all they will see is my dust and results. Results, 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 results. Chad Turner just had another $3,000 day. Rex Harris just had another $3,000 day. Sonia just had another $3,000 day. Pop, 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 pop. And they're like, holy crap, what are you doing? It's my top secret quantum physics formula. Well, how do I get access to that? You got to be black card. Right? The only way you get access to the top secret quantum physics formula is if you're a black card member. Sorry, black card members only. Let me know if you want to participate. We're rocking. Right? So when the trains leave in the station, people are missing out. They jump on board. Right? That's what I'm telling you guys. Right? I already see into the future because I've done this many times in companies. Right? I already know how this whole thing works. So what happens is the energy builds up, pop, right? And it's pop, 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 like popcorn, pop, 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 pop. And we do these hangouts, and people start talking about their personal breakthroughs from here, their heart. And you can't lie about that, guys. There's no hype. There's no fluff. There's no BS in this. That's vulnerability. That's what happened with Rex today, where the emotions came out because he's so grateful of how his life has changed. You can't fake that stuff, right? And that's what becomes the attractor factor. Okay, so Sonia, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, what a way to close the day out. I'm here. Can you mute? Yeah, so this is great. This morning, I had a chance to talk with Tracy, Chad's dad. I had a long conversation with him. That was awesome. I even had a chance to chat with, Chad himself, and get some more pointers. And then I talked to you, got more pointers, and then this is the way that I end my day, and this is great. So, awesome. I'm happy.
I'm happy. Rex Harris, any closing thoughts?
Once you start, don't stop. Do the proclamations, the incantations, the meditations every day. Make it a priority, and it will become a habit. Once it becomes a habit, then you're going to really see some cool things manifest on the inside. So there's my closing thoughts.
Okay, Tracy, can you unmute? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just been absorbing. Just been absorbing all the information, taking it in, watching videos. Like Sonia said, we had a real nice conversation today. I learned a bunch of stuff from her. In fact, Chad and I, we just booked our motel rooms in Las Vegas, so we're going to be there. We're ready to go. Come hell or high water, walk, car, whatever, we'll be there.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Wes, any closing remarks?
Awesome content, like always. The stories are so powerful. That's one thing that I've noticed. Being able to piggyback off of this panel here and off of the stories that we have within the group, it just makes it so much more powerful, and it's leverage to get people to be naturally drawn in. They want to know, and so I love that.
Okay, guys. So what I want to just say here in closing is that if you've been tapped into this Millionaire Mentoring broadcast tonight, what I want for you to really understand here is this is literally the tip of the iceberg, okay? Because the Sunday night Millionaire Mentorings are more team mentorings. When we get into quantum physics training, guys, I'm talking about beyond the matrix here, okay? Now, I want for you to understand that when I was in my 20s was my first contact with personal development with Anthony Robbins, okay? That was my first exposure to personal development. When I got into my 30s, 3 years, I was vice president with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Lee Poulos. Now, Dr. Poulos was the president for the Canadian Society for Clinical Hypnosis. And while I was working with him, he was curing stage 4 cancer patients that were given 3 to 6 months to live. And he was showing them the power of the mind and how they could totally turn their lives around and cure cancer. Okay, I was his vice president for 3 years, learning the power of the subconscious mind, learning more about the human condition, learning about the time continuum, learning how to actually trick time, all right? And we teach that in our subconscious time travel. That's only for Black Card members, guys, I will tell you that. In my 40s, I was vice president with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Dov Baron, and he teaches the secret beyond the secret, the attracting force. He helped me to understand the wave particle theory and how we create our own realities. How are the realities actually created? Guys, once you understand this information, once it absorbs into your cells of your body, once it goes through here into your subconscious mind, something amazing and wonderful happens in your body. Literally like a switch goes off where you can feel your physiology in your body communicating with the electrons. The electrons are smaller than the atoms and the molecules, okay? And once you understand how this all works, you can literally manifest and create whatever you want at lightning speed, right? where miracles can start happening. Like, let's say that you've never owned a property before, and you set a goal that at the end of this year you're going to own your own real estate, right? Or you've always wanted to have a brand new Porsche or some exotic car or a Jaguar, an Aston Martin, right? Whatever it is, you might want to donate $1 million to your church or $1 million to battered women's homeless shelters, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? You can apply these strategies. This is much bigger than just an online business. Okay, so you've heard Mary talk about how her land-based business just in this last week grew 250% in sales. Those are the types of miracles I'm talking about. Mark Clyott is an attorney, and businesses go up and down, and he reached what was called a flat line in his business. The first week of Quantum Physics Millionaire Mentoring, he got $50,000 in deposits in his law firm. Within 2 months, he signed $250,000 in contingency contracts. And in his second month working on our team, he had a $20,000 second month. Okay, and he ranked as high as number 3 on the leaderboards in the company. Now, I can't promise that's going to happen for you, right? Because you might not even show up. You might not even do any of the homework, right? And there is homework. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I will tell you this: you will face your fears, and you will deal with a bunch of emotions. So what? Big deal, right? On the other side of that are the miracles. On the other side of that, getting these emotions out of your body is your first breakthrough, right? And it will be emotional. Big deal, right? That you've got the team that you can lean on, that people have gone through this whole process, that they can, be there as your support system. So you'll know that you're not in this alone, right? We've got a whole team of people having their personal breakthroughs, and that becomes really, really exciting. So if you're one of those people that's finally drawn a line in the sand, and you're in a state of transition, right? You could be in between careers, you could have been downsized, cut back, pink slipped, laid off, maybe you just got a divorce, maybe you just moved, right? You're in a state of transition, or you finally reached what I call a breaking point, where every month there's more month left than money, and you're going further and further and further and further in debt, and you could actually go bankrupt. If you keep the spiral going, the next step is bankruptcy and possibly a nervous breakdown, right? If you're one of those people, click the link below this video, okay, guys? Because I can tell you that once you take action, once you get connected to our Millionaire Mentoring and Training Program, and you learn the 5 steps to wealth creation, this starts a single area of your life, okay? We've even had people go through mentoring that were divorced for 4 years. They went through the training, and they remarried their wife. How about that? People that have had struggled for 10 years, that have made $60,000 in a single month once they learned these principles. So click the link below, or if you've got further questions, you can also get back to the person that invited you to this particular broadcast, or click the button that says have questions. Click on that. That'll go into a video where you can see more about the system that what we use in order to create the leverage. It's all about the leverage. But we're going to teach you how to clone yourself, right? So that there's clone versions of you all over the internet that are working for you while you're sleeping, while you're working, while you're spending time with your kids, where you will never, ever have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. So my name is Darren Little with the MLM Superheroes, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.